All right, how you doing, guys? Senior Home Business family. We hope you're having a great day. We got a special show today for you. Stay with us from start to end. It's going to be power packed, talking about TSL, but more specifically, talking about TSL in Tennessee. We've got a special guest here. Her name is Patti. She is doesn't take care of all of Tennessee, but I believe it's Nashville. Is that right, Patti?
Middle Tennessee, yes, Nashville area.
Okay, that's her name. You're going to see this throughout. You're going to see as a little ticker going across the screen, but Patti, Cottage Senior Advisors, and that's her phone number. You can reach out to her, call her, and/or text if you have any senior living needs. And that means, guys, independent, memory care, assisted living, anything like that, questions about senior living, reach out to Patti. She's the one in Tennessee. She's well-trained, well-liked, got a great personality, but gifted in the industry. And we just love and appreciate her so much. So we're going to get in a little bit, Patti, kind of going back and forth. We're going to talk about TSL and ask you some questions along the way. But Drew, what I love about TSL so much is that we actually help people build their business, not just ours, right? It's not about us. It's about them. Because what I love about TSL, when Drew and I got together, he reached out to me and I heard about this and I thought, man, I honestly didn't think about my students or the people that I have influence over. I actually thought about me, and I thought about, man, I could dominate California with this proprietary software. This is great. And I went, no, Matt, got to be unselfish. Got to put people before you, right? And so I did that. And so we presented out to the students, and Patti's been with us for a minute. And I just love that, Drew. What's your thoughts on that, just in terms of us helping people establish their business, being different in this industry?
Yeah, you're totally right, Matt. I mean, there are a lot of like national referral aggregators out there. But I think where they fall flat is in the local presence and the local expertise. And this is a service to families. So Patti, having you there with your eyes and ears on the ground to be able to curate a list of the actually good communities in your area. And we don't need to present every single community in your area because you don't do that as a local placement agent. You know where the best communities are, and so this allows you to kind of curate that list, and that's a value to families because they're getting this hand curated list from you. But on the flip side too, for your senior placement business, this is a tool for your business. We are a tool. We're not like a Place for Mom, a giant corporate entity who's trying to collect every single placement fee. We stay out of the placement fee, and we just want to be in the background supporting you and your business.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm telling you from personal experience as a senior placement agent, I think Patti will speak to this, and all other partners in 20-plus territories throughout the country. We're looking to be in 100 by the end of the year. But I tell you what, it's a game changer. This is something that's very different, and not just different to be different. It's the wave of the future. You're going to see a lot more websites come up, a lot more landing pages. The growth of this senior living community of people that are turning 65, that are needing assisted living, that are needing memory care, man, is just astounding. And so we need to meet the need. And as much as I like Drew, back in 2018, I started my senior placement agency. I love the kind of holding hands, walking people through the process and all that. But I even figured, what became so stressful for me on a practical level is my business was growing and I got more and more move-ins. Man, I couldn't do that for everybody. It was easy at the beginning when I had that one senior I was helping, the one family, and I could spend 8 hours a day, just researching, meeting with them and planning and doing all the rest. Yeah, try that with 10, 15, 20 at a time. I want somebody to be able to do that. Now, you can build a team. I've got students in our Senior Placement Institute, Senior Home Business community that develop the team. You can do that. But I'm telling you right now, Tours Senior Living, TSL, proprietary software can be your team. And so, Patti, let's get to your team. Let's get to who you are and all that. Let's put that up there again and get her name. And I just want to ask you, Patti, why did you want to start a senior placement business? What was the compelling factor, something that moved you forward to start your business?
Well, I first became aware of the need when my own parents needed assisted living and all the options available. It was a little overwhelming. So we needed to find a way to let's really kind of research and go through that. And I found that my parents weren't the only ones. I had friends that were in the same boat. trying to find places, and it was stressful. It was very overwhelming for people to sort through all the options and to know which was the best for their parent. I'm a former nurse, so I came at it from a perspective of wanting the best place for each particular senior. What's really good for one senior is not going to be good for another senior. For each and their needs. So it really so I wanted to focus on what was the best thing for that particular senior.
That's amazing, Patty. And I tell you, that's one thing, Drew, I love about TSL is that, you know, we do have still the boots on the ground, right? We do have proprietary software and able to help people can do a search, like we call it, like a Zillow search, right? Somebody go on Zillow, they can look for location and price point and amenities of the home. In TSL, it's location, price point, and care needs. But sometimes families, they either want somebody to guide them through the process, or like I've said before, like my personality type, I get, you know, where it's coming from. I am a middleman. I'm a senior placement agent. I just rather go right to the source myself. So TSL gives you that option to go to the source yourself, to call the community, or reach out to Patty in Tennessee and get her to guide you through the process. What's your thoughts on that, Drew?
Yeah, I think what I found is like there's different types of families who some of them really rely on the local expertise. They want to talk to a person to help them curate through the list of options. And then there's other people who like to just do their own research, book their own tours. And so we're trying to kind of provide a better experience for both kind of customer types or client types there with TSL.
Yeah.
One thing that helps with having someone still locally, even when you've decided some ones that you want to tour, is I'm going around to these places all the time because I want to stop in unexpected. I want to see how they're handling patients that are sundowning. I want to smell. If there's been a recent accident, that's not a problem. But if I go back 2 and 3 times and I still have unpleasant odors, I am not going to refer that place. So that's something that having a local person still, even though you've made some decisions, run it by me. Say, you know what, that might not be your best option. So.
Yeah, we haven't figured out how to add that feature in the TSL. Yeah. We've got photos, videos.
Drew, that's a great addition to TSL. A little scratch and sniff.
Scratch and sniff, smell-o-vision.
Oh, I'm picking that community.
Our top scientists are working on that.
Hey, they have scratch and sniff books. Can we do that on video? Technology's not there yet. Come on, guys.
We're working on it.
Man, but it's a real thing to make sure that you're not going to be in a place that you're not going to be comfortable with walking in and having your parents there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I like the scratch and sniff thing. We got to figure that one out. Come on, guys, man. That is perfect. Yeah. That is like, maybe that's where AI is going. I don't know. I mean, I know AI is taking us to a whole nother level in doing all kinds of things. I use a little bit of AI right now, but man, can you imagine that? You're having this total experience, not just with pictures and videos. Dream with me, guys. Now you're actually walking into it and going, ain't for me. Ain't for mom.
I guess I should never have mentioned that.
That's a great idea, Patty. That's
We're
a great
idea. On a tangent here.
I love it. Love it. Well, Patty, tell me a little bit about the challenges that people that you see in Tennessee or just you hear about from other friends and people you know in the senior home business community about the people they deal with too. What are some just everyday challenges people experience that it might be in need of assisted living or memory care?
Well, a lot of times is they don't know all the options, you know, whether they need assistance, whether they need memory care, whether they need some kind of a small home situation. They're not quite sure what the needs are. I talked myself out of a placement. They had talked to a family and their mother was just kind of crazy all of a sudden. And I kind of asked a lot of questions going back and forth real quick. And I said, you know, you need to get to an ER or to an urgent care or your family doctor right away and get a urine test. And as it turns out, just from listening to her, I listening to the family, I heard this woman has a UTI. Sure enough, she didn't need memory care. She just needed an antibiotic. 2 days later, she was perfectly fine. So sometimes it's knowing signs of cognitive impairment. Sometimes it's knowing when they're not safe to be in their home alone anymore. If a faulty wire trips and it starts a fire, is that senior going to be cognizant enough to be able to call 911?
Mm-hmm.
If they can't, they should not be in a home alone by themselves. So it's just kind of getting to know the families. A lot of it is knowing their options, knowing what the senior needs and the right place for the senior, as to whether there is cognitive impairment, whether, there is a safety issue, if they're an extreme fall risk due to some medical handicaps, whether Parkinson's or, various things like that. So I guess it's coming from the nurse's heart, that wanting to make sure that everybody's where they need to be and that they're going to be okay and that they thrive.
Yes.
So many parents or so many families have parents that say, I don't want you to put me into a home. Well, what they perceive as a home, that's not today. Today, communities are cruise ships on land. They're not that. So their perception is, I don't want to go be put into a home. But yet, if they do go someplace, the families will say they're thriving now. They're having communication. They have things to do. They're going on tours. They're going on bus trips. I mean, and we just want to make sure that the senior thrives and not, just kind of stagnates at home alone and, kind of cognitively declines if you're just sitting at home all by yourself all day long in front of a TV. So,
Guys, and that's the importance of going through a local senior placement advisor or agent, multiple different names for what Patti does and what we do. But it's just what she talked about, the UTI situation, and there's plenty of times you're going to talk to people and they might think they need one level of care, but they need another, or they might not need the level of care that they thought they needed in Patti's situation. And it's just the option and the ability for us, knowing the market, being knowledgeable in the industry. And if you're looking for a senior placement, whether it be in Tennessee or anywhere out there, and you're looking to go through a local senior placement agent, I would encourage you guys to interview that senior placement agent. I would encourage you guys out there to sit down and ask them very specific questions why we should hire you. Now, I know you're not paying them money. They get the money on the back end through the communities. However, they're going to be working for you. Or they just start yesterday? Or do they have the credentials that Patti has? Are they knowledgeable like that situation there? Maybe they wouldn't have seen that situation. Maybe they're like, oh yeah, let me just go get her a place to go. And it's a simple UTI, fix. And not the UTIs are simple. I know, Patti, you know that more than I do as a nurse, but that was a much better situation for them. And sometimes, in reality, the family member can go home, under the right conditions, under right circumstances. And there's times when family will take care of family. And I actually like that. Even as a senior placement agent, I love the fact that there's still people out there that love mom and dad and want to take care of mom and dad and realize mom and dad took care of them. So now it's my turn. I love that. I mean, what a cool concept. I don't know. That's, but there is this misnomer of just putting somebody away and put them in an old folk home. And that's not the case. I mean, it shouldn't be the case. I'm not saying there's never a bad apple in a bunch, but that shouldn't be the case. And there's plenty of times that I have seen where a family member didn't have any family. They were absent. They weren't around. No one to take care of them. What happens in that situation? It's very dangerous for a elderly person to be at home and they can't take care of themselves. And they're prone to leave the stove on. They're prone to slip and fall. There's all kinds of things. Most of my clients come from a fall. I would say if I put a percentage to it, it's like 95% of the clients that I help have fallen. Like they were perfectly fine, but they fell. And the fall, because of that, they got transported to the hospital, went to skilled nursing, maybe post-acute, then skilled nursing. And by the time they get around there, and now they can't take care of themselves, now it's time for senior living, whether it be assisted living or memory care or something like that. So, Drew, let's talk about TSL just a little bit, about the coaching and the tools and the marketing and all the cool things, right? We just don't give them just a link to put up on their website, hope and pray. But we actually do a weekly training, and I'm going to steal your thunder here, but we actually do a lot of coaching, a lot of training for people who want to get involved with this. So, Drew, you speak to that, and then, Patti, I want to get your personal experience based on the coaching that you receive from us. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, they really go together, right? Because this is a tool designed to help support your business. But there's a lot more to the business than just the tool. It's all the skills of being able to talk to families, how to approach communities with your service and with this product,
Mhm.
how to approach skilled nursing facilities and hospitals and social services departments there with this. And so what I love about what TSL does is it pairs your Matt's expertise in coaching abilities with this technology tool that can help really differentiate you against the other local senior placement agents that you might be competing against in your area.
And Patty, what's been your experience? I mean, TSL's only been around for to date of whatever today is, May 22nd, 2025. It's only been around for like 3 months, right? But I
Yes.
mean, so 3 month sample size.
Okay.
What's been your experience of the coaching, the accountability, the service? I know, and I'm kind of still in the thunder here, but Drew does a fantastic job in the production crew and Josh and all the rest
Yes.
behind the scenes and getting it back in a timely manner. Again, I'm so glad I'm not I mean, we have to know our skill set and our gifts, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I could
Definitely.
email, but that's definitely not my gift. If you were emailing me constantly, we said earlier, you'd be disappointed. Like, gosh, I emailed Matt and it's been 3 days. What's that? But Drew gets back and like, I mean, it's like minutes sometimes. I mean, it's amazing. So anyway, Patty, speak to the level of your experience.
It's perfect for me because I can understand a family's situation and the senior because I love the gerontological community, but I am clueless when it comes to tech, and I was clueless when it came to the business side of this. So I needed Matt to help me with the business side because I didn't really I mean, how do I actually run a placement business? I understood placement, but and then technology is so over my head that that I really needed Drew. And I do. You mentioned service. I was just going to say that Drew is right there. He gets things done and he answers questions so fast. So I don't feel like I'm sinking on my own.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of my team, man. I tell you, I've been a part of other organizations that were fantastic. I'm sure we all have the good experience and bad experience in whatever we get involved with. And I think from a customer standpoint, the service end of things, as long as that's there, I mean, the quality of the product, obviously, but then the customer service, like, are you really being, your answers being, I mean, your questions being answered and the things that you need are being done in a timely manner. And I can say that about Drew and Josh and the team, man. They just are fantastic behind the scenes and doing all we need to do. So you will not be disappointed.
Our goal, Patty, is to keep you up and out and interfacing with families and communities. You don't need to be in there like creating landing pages and whatnot. So
it would never get done if it was up to me. So yes, thank you, Drew.
Let us take care of it. And we really designed the interface to be phone calls and emails. So you're not having to log into something that to check your leads or whatnot, or adopt a whole new CRM. Just everyone has email, everyone has phone. So let's just build around that.
Absolutely. And guys, you're seeing Patty's name go across. Cottage Senior Advisors, her phone number. That is her cell number. You can text or call. Also, want to let you know she's in Tennessee. So if you didn't think to read the thumbnail, don't have a lead and a move-in in Kentucky and you reach out to Patty. She's actually in Tennessee. If you do reach out to her, I know she's kind-hearted and sweet enough. She's going to receive the call and help you out and probably give you to one of our other partners or students in the group. And that'll be fine. But just let you guys know she is in Tennessee. So do not forget to text or email. I guess you can't email because I don't see an email in there. But text or call Patty at Cottage Senior Advisors. So, Drew, back to the ground floor opportunity. What kind of opportunity it's out there for a potential entrepreneur or a current entrepreneur or a local business person? Somebody just wants to switch jobs, get from they're maybe a W-2 employee and they want to switch over. It's a lot of different categories of people I know, but I think we all at the core within every human being has a desire to fulfill our calling, something we want to do. We all have, I believe that we all have this something inside of us that says, I want to do this, whatever this is. I'm not saying it's all senior placement. Obviously, we'd have, a country full of senior placement agents all around, and you probably don't even know one if you're an audience member out there. But how do they draw that out? Because, and the reason I asked this question, Brittany and I talked about this yesterday on the live show a little bit. I went through like a 10-year period of time in my life where I really wanted to bridge that gap between a W-2 employee to an entrepreneur. And I wanted to get out of the rat race, whatever you want to call it. And I fortunately had some good jobs. It was not like, I hated my jobs. I was paid okay, $75,000, $85,000. I wasn't paid great, but I was okay. I was making a living. But I just knew there's something in me that wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I think that's a lot of people out there where they might be in that W-2 space and they go, man, I know it's a risk. And I know the security that I have in working my W-2. I'm at least getting paid every week, every other week, once a month, whatever it may be. I'm getting a salary. However, let me say this before Drew talks. What you think is security is the bigger risk of all, because you don't know when that job is going to vanish. I'll give you a prime example with my mom and dad, me as a kid, only child, middle-class family. We weren't wealthy by no means, but we had a lot because we had one kid, just me, right? So mom and dad could spoil me. My mom and dad worked at a General Electric plant for a number of years. Mom was there like 13, 14 years. Dad was there between 11 and 12. And they could get to the 20-year mark and I guess retire. I didn't know too much. I was just a kid. I was like 12, 13 years of age. However, one day that plant decided to close down in Virginia and move overseas. So everybody in that plant, unless you're a high-end executive and wanted to go overseas and work, everybody was terminated. And so mom and dad went from a really, really good job of security to now starting all over again. And so you just don't know when that's going to happen for you guys out there. What TSL can do for you guys is position you for growth in this industry. But Drew, what do you think for the W-2 employee that's kind of struggling with that, or maybe an entrepreneur is out there doing something and he or she's just dissatisfied, whatever they're doing, not making a whole lot of money. They're putting a whole lot of effort and energy into it. But what is the potential behind TSL?
Well, I look for, signals that indicate you're doing something valuable for other people. I think if you can follow that value creation, you can figure things out. And this industry, specifically with placement agents, I see something I don't see anywhere else. I see placement agents getting thank you cards from the families they've helped 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Does that happen anywhere else? Do you, when you buy a car, do you send the car sales guy a thank you card? 10 years. I can't
Thanks
think
for
of
this monthly payment I've got now that's stressing me out.
So that to me is a signal something very valuable is being created here with this service. So that's one. I think that the second thing is that we've got all this changing technology, and I've got friends in the tech industry who are losing their jobs because they're being automated away with AI. The jobs we thought were totally secure, software engineer, right? That's the best bet you could possibly make in 2015. Who would have thought? But what I think is robust with this AI revolution is to have your own distribution channel that you own. That's where you want to be. Because whatever AI comes and changes, if you have the distribution channel to deliver that value, that service, or that product to your customers, that's where you can keep it going. And that's what we're creating with TSL. This is a distribution channel that you own, you control, that you're able to provide those senior living community listings to people in skilled nursing, to people in hospitals, people who are looking at the time of need. And so the product will evolve, it'll adapt, but that'll be your distribution channel for life. And so,
and what Drew's saying is yours, right? So we are committed to only having one senior placement agent per territory. So it's not like we're just trying to get this thing out to the masses. We could have done that easily, Drew, and made a lot more money, as a company. However, we're committed, our values are committed to the process of the hand-holding, high touch service of a local senior placement agent. We are not a place for mom. We're not caring.com. We're not any national company that's out there that's just a lead aggregate and getting all those leads, and all those leads go to all these different communities, and all these communities call that one daggone number, and they get pounded day in and day out. If you've ever done that, had that experience, kind of get an amen down below. Somebody's had that experience, right? So it's one senior placement agent per territory. So you still get that high touch, but also you get the comfort of coming into a company that if your area is available, like now in this area in Tennessee, it's not available. Sorry. If you're seeing that, you're like, oh man, okay, you're just doing Nashville, right, Patti?
Well, Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee. Okay.
So Tennessee's really long.
Yeah, it is a long state. Yeah.
So there's like west, middle, and east. Yeah, I'm in the middle.
Okay, so middle. So is it safe to say east and west are available? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm making sure I'm getting the demographics there. So east and west Tennessee are available, but forget about central, right? So we got students all over the country, like I said earlier, in about 22 different territories, and growing rapidly. But it's an opportunity for you to get not only a senior placement business, but have proprietary software in your location and receive all the customer service and all that kind of things. So Patti, I want you to put a bow on it. Tell us more about you. I'm going to put up your name and number and leave it there. Just close us out and tell us what seniors mean to you. I know as a nurse, I know as a human being, as a kind-hearted individual that you are ready to serve and you're ready to help people. And I want them to call your number. Call Patti if you're in Middle Tennessee. Wrap the bow up, Patti.
Well, I just want the opportunity to just take you by the hand, just help the family out and the senior out, because I want to make sure that they're thriving wherever they're at. And if it's not going to someplace, is it bringing help in for a time being? You know, what's the best opportunity for the senior, but just to make sure that they're thriving.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate you so much. Drew, you know how I feel about you, my man. Cool guy. Appreciate you so much. And the team, Patti, appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys want to learn more about this business, there's a number of different links you can click down below. If you want to learn about TSL and Tour Senior Living, how you can possibly be a part of it, there's another link down below. Schedule a consultation call with myself. We can talk about it. And we'll start off with, is your territory available? What the senior placement business is all about. Answer any questions you have. So don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Click the links. Until next time, God bless.